afternoon, everyone. I am Mariana Stafia, and here's why you are here and we are here. 82% of the businesses fail because of a cash flow problem. So it's not the product. The product is good. It's not the sales. The sales are going. It's just cash flow. So today, here, I just brought you two brilliant CEOs. It's Alina and it's Mark. So they will show you the path from the cash flow chaos to confident growth in just under 30 minutes because time is money, right? So Alina Pushnano, she's the CEO of FISKL, and FISKL is an AI-powered accounting platform, which is just saving you time, saving you money. 82% time of reconciliation saved with small businesses across over 200 countries. Alina, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Mariana.
Yeah, and then we have Mark. Mark Moore, he's a CEO of Spartan Cafe. It's a platform connecting entrepreneurs like you to over 1,000 lenders. It's offering you AI coaching 24/7 and funding up to $10 million. Mark, great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me as well, Mariana and Alina.
And thank you to all the attendees who chose to be here with us for 30 minutes. We are going to spend your time very wisely. So here's our framework. I'm going to be very brief, so you have time enough, to explain everything. So Alina, she's going to show us real-time cash visibility. Then Mark comes and he will show us the funding to growth path. Third step, we are going to have an exclusive offer for you, for the attendees. And lastly, we are going to have 2 minutes of Q&A. So Alina, you're first. Show us the money.
Thank you, Mariana. So solving first the very, very foundational problem of knowing where your money is right now and how are you doing in terms of cash flow. Without that, you can't move forward and you can't grow the business. So if we look at, and Mariana, please confirm you see my screen. We are looking at...
No, I don't see your screen.
There it is.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. So starting off again, so the first and foremost, you should know as a business owner where your cash flow stands at any given point in time. Without that, you can't grow the business, you can't pay your bills, and you don't know where you stand in terms of your opportunities for the rest of the year. To this point, I'd like to introduce FISKL. FISKL is an end-to-end AI automated accounting platform, has won many awards, and it gives you complete financial control, banking integration in the US with 21,000 banks. You can take payments globally. Everything is modernized for the on-the-go, on the top of their finances business owner, and we have AI to help you reconcile and do a lot of the admin work in accounting. So to show you a quick preview of how you can manage your finances in FISKL and get your financials ready for funding, I'm going to walk you a little bit through what FISKL can do. And on the screen, you will see the home dashboard of FISKL, starting with your financial dashboard, and I'm going to come to it in a second. But what can you do in FISKL to get your finances in one place? You can do manage your invoices, you can manage recurring invoices, quotes, you can manage your customers, you can manage your products and services list, you can manage your full accounting, from chart of accounts to reporting to transaction history and reconciliation. You can manage all your banks and bank connections, so you can see your cash flow status across any currency you have on all your bank accounts. And in the US, we support all quite an extensive range of banks. All in one globally, we have 21,000 banks. We have very, very good coverage in the US via Yodlee. You can bring in your team members to manage the cash on a daily basis, so you know what's being spent and what you need to bill. And if we look at the financial dashboard in FISKL, you're going to notice that you have a real-time view of your finances, because FISKL takes your banking feed and it drops it directly into your accounting. So you don't have to post to accounting and you don't have to reconcile yet. You have to still use categorization and so on to get there, but it gives you a real-time financial dashboard. You get there much faster with FISKL because we help you with AI to categorize your transactions, to assign the tax, the client, the vendor. We help you ingest all your expense data, so you can upload all your receipts and expenses and bills to FISKL, and we will process them automatically with AI directly to accounts payable. So there is quite a bit of magic that in our AI flow that helps you get your finances in order. And then when you come to your financial dashboard, you can see, for example, your cash flow balance, your total revenue. You can see your full cash flow analysis. You can look at bank only, or all your cash and cash equivalents in your chart of accounts. You can see by category, for example, income, expense, income to profit. You can see your financial ratios, very important to for growth and lending. You need to know your working capital. It's a very important area, and so on and so on. So if we look at this, you can see that the business is doing quite well, but in this case, in this particular account, I have 81% of receivables overdue, and my payment cycles are slower than the typical 30, 60 days. So maybe I'm getting paid by a large corporation, and the money is not coming earlier than 90 days. So I'm stuck with a very, very high amount of receivables, of invoices that are not yet paid, but yet I need the money to grow. So this is, for example, a good area of attention. So now I'm going to ask Fi, the FISKL financial advisor, what are my stats? What are the key elements that I need to have interpreted in terms of my data on the screen in this financial dashboard that I'm just scrolling through. So FISKL Fi will tell me now what are my performance highlights, and it is highlighting, and I'm going to scroll back a little bit, highlighting that I have a major accounts receivable management risk area. And this is going to keep many people awake. So what do I need to do how can I get funding for my receivables? Let me ask Fi. So what can I do now? What are my options? So it's giving me a few options. I can do accounts receivable factoring, or I can get loans based on my accounts receivable balance. I can do asset-based lending, so using my AR as collateral for loans. I have quite a large amount of receivables, so this is very attractive to lenders. So my next step is to see if my financial reports are in order, so I can go and see my profit and loss, my balance sheet, which are some of the key things that the lender would need. And my finances now are ready for lending. So I'm gonna leave it here, and then we can transition to Mark to take it over and get us some funding.
Yeah, well, Alina, this was I'm sorry.
No, I was saying this looks brilliant. Thank you so much, Alina. Now, yes, Mark, it's your turn. Tell us what to do.
Well, I just have to say thank you, Alina, for this great presentation, and it's all the more reason why this is such a great partnership. Your the accounting platform in FISKL is a dream for people like me who help people get funding. For over 40 years, I've helped people get business loans, lines of credit, real estate financing, and always run into similar types of issues where the borrower doesn't really know all the information they need to have before they go to the lender. Also, there's always a form of guesswork, right? So when you're going to get a loan, you apply and you're hoping you get approved. You're hoping to get the number that you're looking for, and there's always a guesswork. So what we did was created the very first social networking platform where that focuses entirely on business funding and financing. In other words, providing all the tools necessary to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and aspiring business owners not only get funding, but understand how the system works so that you can know that you're approved before you apply. And you'll also know how much you get approved for because you'll understand what the underwriters understand. But with that, I'll give you a quick run through of the platform. And I love that it showed in FISKL, it showed the different types of funding you can get. And through our platform, and I'll just go to share this, share our site, Spartan Cafe. All right. Just let me know. Do you guys see it here?
It's getting there, not yet.
Okay. All right. So Spartan
No.
Cafe. All right. Can I see? All right. So Spartan Cafe is the first social media platform that primarily focuses on funding. And the reason why we did it in the form of social media is because we wanted to also provide a networking opportunity for business owners and lenders to coordinate with each other, to speak with each other, so that when you're applying, they're acting on your behalf and not necessarily on the underwriter's behalf or the bank's behalf, right? So the idea is to help you get funding. So just like what Alina said, when you go through this process through the accounting platform, now you're ready to go start to get funding. You want to know that you have an opportunity to do that. So as you can see, this is just the face of our platform, and you can see there's a lot of educational parts here. You can actually talk to the platform directly, have conversations with it about your funding, financing options in your hopes. We have a funding academy where we go through the building business credit or establishing business credit based on your EIN number and not your social security number. So limiting liability. And then we have dozens and dozens of different types of financing options. So as you can see here, sub debt, which is something that is a dream because if you already have a loan, it's hard to get a loan on top of your loan, right? Because you're dealing with debt to income ratios and things like that. So banks don't like, or lenders don't like to lend business owners money when they're currently paying off a loan. But many times while you're running your business, you need more funding. So we also offer debt funding, debt financing, sub debt, business term loans, and as you can see here, accounts receivables, and so on. So the list goes on and on. In addition, we also have every type of SBA loan. All of our lenders have been with us for 30 years. So when you're a member on our platform and you are applying for funding through whether it's real estate financing, SBA loans, alternative financing, um, they know who you are. So you're applying directly through this platform. And then when your application goes through, they know that you're coming through Spartan Cafe, so you have priority access to the lender. So the lender is going to take their time with you to make sure that you have all your paperwork or your documentation and that you understand the process, right? So it's not a sales job as much as it is to make sure they're your advocate. So our lenders are your advocates. They want to make sure that you get funded so that you have the best opportunity to continue to succeed with your business. So for example, let's say you chose, I need account receivable. So you're a FISKL member, and then you come to Spartan Cafe and you come into one of the pages to apply for accounts receivable. So we don't just have an application button. You come in here and it talks a little bit about what accounts receivable is. You have short videos that break down what accounts receivable is and what type of funding you can get, how much you can get, what the criteria is. And then let's say you're going through this and you have a pretty good understanding, qualifications, it breaks down what the specifics are so that by the time you apply, so let's say you click on this button, this is your intake button. It's very straightforward. You click this, the lender knows that you are coming from Spartan Cafe and that you are applying for accounts receivable. So they are knowing what you read, the videos that you've seen. They know that you're knowledgeable. And if you're not knowledgeable, they're open to your questions. How many people have had the opportunity to ask the lender questions about the loan after they've applied or just before they apply, right? So right through the platform, you're able to apply for funding. In the process, you're learning about that particular type of loan so that you understand the whole process all the way through. As you go through, this is our funding academy. Within this, we go into things like the business credit builder itself, where as you're going through this, we can call it a course, but we really call it, these are more like walkthroughs, right? So as you're going through, and I'll show you the business credit builder in action here, as you're going through the business credit builder, each step of the way, as you're going through it, you're receiving credit as you go through the system, right? So it's not like a course where you're learning it and then okay, great, I got some knowledge and that's it. Each step of the way, you're actually starting to develop a business credit profile and score based on your EIN number. So that's very important because now when you're starting to apply for funding, you won't be so personally liable to the funding that you receive. So this is very, very important to us. And our lenders know that our subscribers, our members, are going through this process as they're going to get funding. And then, of course, as you're going through it, if you ever have questions, um, you can always directly speak to the AI coaches. These AI coaches are not straightforward, they're very specific to the area and they're well trained. So if you think about, I have, about 40 years of experience helping people get funding, a little bit less than that, helping people get business loans. We've put that whole body of knowledge into our AIs. So now you can chat with them just by text message, or you can even have conversations with them. So let's say you need accounts receivable, and you go to the accounts receivable page and you read up on it, learn as much as you can, and you notice the wording here is no jargon, right? Very plain language, very plain wording. You watch a short video, you have a pretty good understanding, but you have a few more questions before you go to the lender. So then at some point, you can either go to our activity feed. I thought I had it open here, right? You can go into the activity feed like you might find in any other social media platform, and you can post your questions to the community if you like. Or you can directly chat with our host lender, our in-house lender, okay, which I'll get into that in a second. And then if you're still not sure, you talk to the AI, you speak to the AI to answer the rest of your questions before you apply. So now when you go to apply for this loan and you're speaking to a live lender who has your file in front of them, you're better equipped to get the loan and to get the loan quickly. And that's very important. So having said that, I also wanted to just share that our main lender is an in-house lender. So that what that means is a family office. And now it used to be 10, we can lend up to 10 million. I just found out last week that we can lend up to 15 million direct through our in-house lender. And what that really means is this: less documentation, and funding, typically speaking, funding approvals usually the same day. Funding once you're approved is usually anywhere from 48 to 72 hours direct to your account. So that's just through our direct in-house lender. And then we have 1,000 plus other lenders nationwide that are directly connected to Spartan Cafe. So they know who you are, you're going to know who they are. And their job, and we made sure of this, their job is to be on your side. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Alina or anyone else if they have any questions about the platform.
Can you show us Finley a bit in action and
Oh, sure. Let's
see how
talk to Finley.
Let's talk to Finley.
All right, so we're going to start a new chat. So Finley is an alternative business loan coach. All right, so I'm just going to click on here, a new chat.
I'm Finley, your AI alternative business loan consultant. Just a reminder, this isn't financial advice. Always consult a professional. How can I assist you today?
So Finley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. How can I help you with your business financing needs today?
So Finley, I'm a member, I'm a subscriber over at FISKL, as you know, that we've partnered with them. And I got all my documentation, and the platform told me that I would do really well to go after either asset-based lending or accounts receivable. Can you tell me a little bit about both those types of loan programs?
I can certainly provide you with some information about asset-based lending and accounts receivable financing. To make sure I give you the most relevant details, could you tell me what types of assets your business has and what you would primarily use the funds for? Also, are you looking to improve cash flow, fund operations, or something else?
Yeah, I think it's primarily I'm more interested in improving my cash flow. I'd also need some funding for marketing. So I'm thinking maybe more accounts receivable is more the way that I'd like to go. What do you think?
Accounts receivable financing could be a good option for improving cash flow, especially if you have a significant amount of outstanding invoices.
So
With
Finley,
accounts
Finley,
receivable finance,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have a question for you. Can you just break down what accounts receivable actually is? Because I'm new to this whole thing.
of course, accounts receivable is the money that is owed to your business by your customers for goods or services that you've already provided but haven't been paid for yet. It's essentially the outstanding invoices that your clients need to settle. Does that make sense?
So you're saying like if I provided the work, I gotta wait 30, 60, 90 days sometimes to get receive payment. And so I could get a loan based on invoices that I'm expecting to receive. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly right. Since you're looking to improve cash flow and you have those invoices where you're waiting to receive payment, accounts receivable financing could be a good fit.
And how
There are
much,
generally two
and
main
how
types.
much, Finley, how much of the amount will I get? Will I get 100% of what my invoices are, or what's the percentage? How does that work?
Typically, you won't receive 100% of the invoice amount up front. The percentage you receive, known as the advance rate, usually ranges from 70 to 90% of the invoice value. The lender holds back the remaining amount to cover their fees and protect themselves in case the customer doesn't pay the full invoice. Once your customer pays the invoice, the lender will then remit the remaining balance to you minus their fees.
Is there anything that Spartan Cafe can help me with regard to preparing before I go to apply for this loan?
Based on your needs, you might find it helpful to explore resources like Spartan Cafe. They offer access to various funding options such as invoice factoring and financing. And they may have connections to lenders that are suitable for your situation. Remember to compare all of your options.
Thank you so much, Finley. You've been very helpful.
That sounds to me absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
great.
that's Spartan Cafe in a nutshell. It's a social media platform. So our subscribers, if you will, our members are on the platform pretty much all day, which is phenomenal to see. Whether they're working within the business credit builder or they're working on more funding, and then they're also networking with other very serious business owners. The key here is that it's solely focused on funding growth. That's sort of the beginning and end of what this is, and it was created to get rid of the bottleneck, to get rid of the guesswork, to essentially, without guaranteeing funding, of course, nobody can guarantee funding. We do have a 90% approval rate.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. But for all the attendees today who wanted to join us and they are here, I think we do have an offer. So, Mark, would you like to present the offer we have?
Oh, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
as a thank you for this partnership with FISKL, and thank you, Alina and Mariana. We are offering to all FISKL members a lifetime 40% discount on our monthly subscription of $24.99. So you'd be paying $14.99 and a 30-day free trial.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think they will need a code, right, in order to get this offer.
Yes, and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's FISKL
Uh-huh.
25.
That's
FISKL and the number 25.
Which I'm displaying on the screen right now. Hopefully everybody can see.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
on
Everything is clear here. Yeah. So 40% off for life. That's a beautiful offer, I would say.
Yeah, the goal here is to get people taking advantage of course, I'm running a business, but it's to get people to take advantage of all the resources that are available. We've done the heavy lifting for you, clearly from accounting to funding, It's all put together, and I think in a seamless way. So I think, um, what's the point of providing access if you can't access it, right? So we wanted to keep the price low, and give you and provide maximum, access to information. I should also say that although we're a social media platform, we will never take on ads. So there's no ads, no algorithms, and never any upsells. So the price that you pay today is the price you'll pay tomorrow. We're constantly adding new features, almost monthly at this point, and you'll have access. So you won't ever have to upgrade.
Perfect. Thank you so much, both of you. And I think now it's time to, to open for the question and answers. So everyone who wants to ask a question, please drop it in the chat, and either Lina or Mark are going to answer it. So we have how many minutes? We have 3 minutes. But of course, if there are going to be more questions, we can, we can have some extra time. So any question? Let's wait a little bit. Maybe people are shy.
You can either type it in or ask it directly in the call. I've enabled a few to speak that I thought were raising their hands. So I think, is there a Q&A, Mariana? Okay, so Mariana, there's a question already.
Oh, I don't see it. I'm not sure why.
What makes Spartan Cafe different from any other lending platform you've seen out there?
Oh, it's a great question.
Question is to you.
Yes, I think that's a great question. What makes us different is that we're not a lending platform specifically. What we are, we prepare our borrowers, our members, to receive funding in the most efficient way. What we've done is brought all the lenders to us, which means we brought all the lenders to you. They're competing for your attention, and therefore you're going to get better rates and better opportunities. So we're going to keep you away from predatory lenders. That's what pretty much what makes us different, is that we keep you away from predatory lenders and we provide access to all the lenders nationwide. So essentially what makes us different is that we're not a lender, we're more of the sort of online broker, if you will, making sure that you are able to get not only the information, but get direct access to the underwriters.
Thank you, Mark. Alina, for some reason, I can't see the questions here. So
that's all right.
anything else?
No, there are no other questions. Maybe Mark, if none of the other webinar participants want to ask you a question, what do you consider important to have in terms of your finances, being ready to get ready for a loan? What are the minimum requirements?
Sure. Minimum requirements for a business loan. Typically speaking, you should be in business for 2 years. That said, through our platform, we're able to help people get funding as long as they've been at least a year old. So time in business is important. Bank statements. Do you have anywhere from 3 to 12 months of bank statements? With regard to bank statements, the least amount of negative items within your bank statements are helpful. Tax returns, year to date, P&L statements and balance sheets. So those documents are the core. Regarding personal credit or your FICO score, it should be at least a 680, typically speaking. You can get loans for a lot less, and there are a lot of opportunities to get funding, like, for example, with account receivables, where your personal credit doesn't really play a factor. So sometimes if the personal credit is a little bit less, we can still provide other funding needs. And then I would say also the most critical, this is in terms of protecting the borrower, would be to establish a business credit profile and score. Most people don't realize it, but there are 17 different business credit agencies out there. So much like you have a personal credit score and a personal credit report, your business also has a personal credit report. Now, as an adult, you may have a credit report and not know it. Same happens with business. No credit is equal to bad credit. So when you're establishing a business credit profile and score, which is a lot easier than it is for personal credit, you're able to access 10 to 100 times the amount that you normally could through personal credit. That is to say, if I apply for a Visa card through my personal credit, and I apply for the same exact Visa card, but through my business, if my business is structured properly, I'm going to get 10 to 100 times more for the same exact loan product. And it will report primarily to my, based on my EIN number, to my business credit reporting agencies. So I would say, make sure your documentation is in order. That's what, and FISKL is going to be great with that for you. That's super critical. Build your business credit profile and score with Dun & Bradstreet. The three main ones are Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Commercial, and Equifax Commercial. Start developing that early. Most people wait too long into their business to start developing these things. And what happens is by the time they need funding, they're in a desperate mode, right? You'll hear a lot of finance people say, always borrow when you don't need to, right? And you think, well, that makes no sense. Why should I borrow if I don't need to? Well, because this is how you start developing your credit rating with the business credit agencies. And here's a trick, a secret that you'll find once you're in the business credit builder, once you're doing the business credit builder within the platform. Once you get through, let's say, the first month or so of the platform, you'll be able to see what the business credit agencies see. What that means is this: when a bank is deciding whether or not to give you a loan, it's not a person, right? It's computerized, it's algorithmic. What they're doing is they're looking at your Experian business credit report. And within your business credit report, there are suggestions for how much money you should get if you apply. So it might say, we suggest or we recommend 40,000. So the bank's going to approve you for 40,000 based on what your business credit report says. So first you need to know that you have one, you have to create one. And then once you're able to see that, you're able to now also manipulate, if you will, what the recommendation is, because you'll also be able to see it. So what that means is you'll be able to see your business credit report, see the amount that they're recommending, and then maybe you go to the business credit AI coach and say, hey, this is my situation. How do I increase this? And maybe there are a couple of steps that you can take so that a month later, your recommended amount will jump. And by the way, and when it comes to business credit and the recommendations, if you do things right, they don't jump by a $5,000 or $2,000. It jumps usually 10, 20, $30,000 at a time.
Oh, that's a lot of information, Mark.
Yeah, a lot of information are also useful. That's why we need professionals, right?
And that's the reason why I created the platform, because people like myself and Alina can't be everywhere. Another reason why I created this platform is I worked as a consultant, a finance consultant for many years. I was hired out at $475 an hour to just talk about what I'm talking about right now, provide the information that we're talking about today. And I said, well, listen, if you're not a Fortune 500 or have a rich uncle, how do you gain access? And so I got frustrated because I have a lot of friends and a lot of associates that couldn't pay my fee. And I didn't have the time to be able to sit and work with them, because a lot of times it's not just taking their documents and applying for the loan. They're missing so many things that have to be fixed. And sometimes that requires time, right? Months even sometimes. So figured, how do I provide the same service and volume and still be able to pay my bills, keep the lights on? So that's the reason why we created Spartan Cafe. And Spartan Cafe was named that way, Spartan as the warrior, right? Because
yes, I was just wondering. Yes, okay. I know the Spartans, very well trained and, ferocious and going for the kill, right? So now we are going for the money.
That's it. We're killers, right? We're right? We're not killers, but we're definitely warriors, right? As entrepreneurs. The cafe side is the hangout side, the community side. So we're also building a community, essentially an ecosystem that's kind of trying to establish a revolution relative to business funding and access to it. So one of the things I like to say along those lines is, as a person in finance, we're trained, and any finance person will tell you this if they're honest, we're trained to be gatekeepers. We're not supposed to tell you these things. So more and more of my brethren, if you will, have decided, well, we're just not going to do that anymore.
Yes, here you
So
are telling us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope that everybody is as fascinated as I am. I'm sure that we can spend a long time, and you have plenty to tell us, all good tips, good information, good advices. What do you think? Do you think we should wrap it up tonight and hope that everyone, we started the webinar saying that 82% of the businesses, they are failing, right? Because of the cash flow problem. I think now everybody have the tools, and nobody's going to fail because, the cash is there, it's going to be there. So the businesses are going to grow with FISKL and Spartan Cafe. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. The recordings will be in your inbox within 24 hours. And yes, don't forget, you have to go to fiscal.com/Spartan Cafe and everything is there. Alina, thank you. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mariana. And I look forward to the AMA with Mark next. I think we're going to have a lot of questions.
outstanding. Yes, this was a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, everyone.